we will be doing chapter 4 experiments today. So this is where I would like to remind you again and again of the key sutra by Atmananda. If you take a stand as the body, the world will appear as physical objects. If you take a stand as the senses and the mind, the world will appear as subtle images. And if you take a stand as the awareness, the world is nothing but a dream. The world does not exist. So we will experiment with ourselves using these 3 stands. So please could you draw a table on a page, keeping the first and the last columns very narrow. We'll just draw 3 columns, but the first and last column will be very narrow and the central column will be wide. The first column is stand as the body, the middle column is stand as the mind, and the right hand side column is stand as awareness. So now we are going to experiment with last week's knowledge from chapter 4. Knowledge of a thing does not prove the thing's existence. Yes, this was what we did in chapter 4. So I'm sure all of you have a book on the table. Yeah. Let's take our book in our hand or keep it right in front of you. Keep it in front of you. You don't have to show it to me. When I take a stand as the physical body, I see physical objects. I see the physical book. I see a physical object called computer. I see a physical object called lamp. Yeah. When I take the stand as the physical body, I touch an object and I feel, oh, it is a physical object. Yeah. So what is he wanting to say? When do you take a stand as the physical body? Most of the times you are not aware of the body. Most of the times. It's healthy and it's fine. It's doing its functions normally. Every day you're not really aware. Only when there is some problem with the body. Oh, I got a stomach ache. Then suddenly you become the body. Yes, then you say, my stomach is paining or I am hurting today. Yeah, most of the times you're not really thinking of yourself or identifying yourself as the body. Have you noticed this? Yeah. Now, let's look at stand as the mind. Your book which is in front of you, touch the book. Yeah, and close your eyes. Just do one experiment. The book's cover is probably smooth. Isn't the smoothness of the book's cover simply a perception of touch? You will say, yes, I've done this. It is only a perception of touch. Yeah? Isn't this perception of touch simply a sensation? Yeah? Whatever you describe it as, sensation of smoothness, or if you have a rough texture to your book, roughness. But isn't it just a sensation? Is this sensation of smoothness or roughness a physical phenomena? The meaning of a physical phenomena means does the direct experience of the sensation of that smoothness or roughness give me proof that it is happening somewhere outside of me? Move your finger on your book. Is this sensation happening outside of me? No. So the sensation does not give me proof that it is happening outside of me. Yeah? So that means it is not a physical phenomena. Physical phenomena is something, an assumption that there is an outside, there is somewhere out there, which is separate from me. Yeah. So if the sensation is not giving me any proof that an outside exists, means it is not a physical phenomena. Okay. Now, is this perception of touch a mental phenomena? Does the direct experience of the smoothness of the cover give me proof that it is happening inside me? How many of you feel it's inside me? You can put your hands up. Okay, so you feel this is inside me. Okay. So that means I am saying this perception of touch is a mental phenomena. It is happening inside me. Yeah. Now you can open your eyes. So you said that the smoothness of touch, that sensation is happening inside me. So you want to say it is happening in my mind, right? Inside me, mind. That is why you're calling it a mental phenomena. Now open your eyes and look at the book. When you said that this is a mental phenomena, you implied saying that the book is an image in my own mind. Correct? Yes, I have created an image, and from last week's sessions, you've understood, oh, I project the image and I perceive the image. Yes, so a lot of people now start thinking, oh, yeah, this is an image in my own mind, which means that my mind is out there where I am assuming that the book is. Right? Yeah. So you're saying, oh, I only experience my own mind outside and I label it as a world of objects. Yeah. So this brings us to another understanding. That my mind is not just inside the physical body like I thought earlier, but it is outside this physical body. Yeah. Now, look very carefully. If your mind is outside, is it like a small bubble just surrounding your physical body? Or is it bigger? Okay, it is bigger. Oh, it extends all the way till where my senses can go. So if I look out the window and I can see the trees far away, the houses far away, that means, oh, my mind is till there. Yeah, my mind extends till there. Is that how you've started looking at it? If you have, then you are taking a stand as the mind still. Yeah. This is a natural way people look at it. Because it is new territory, but there is a higher step, taking the stand as awareness. Yeah. So now did you understand, when you take a stand as the mind, you see the world as images. Is this very clear what Atmananda is saying? Yeah. Because we understood, oh, I create an image, I project it, and I perceive my own projected image. Yeah. So Atmananda says, when I take a stand as the mind, I see the world as images. So now look down at your own physical body. You've taken the stand as the mind, and you're looking down at the physical body. So this is also nothing else but an image. The perception of my own physical body. I perceive it through the same 5 senses as I perceive the world as images. Yeah. So this understanding opens up another dimension where you recognize, the body is inside the mind. Good. It's not wrong to take the stand as the mind. At least it's opening up. You're understanding something. Oh, the body is just an image inside the mind. Good. Yeah. But all the time recognize there is one more stand higher. Yeah. And I have to move there. But at least in this session, you will become very clear. When do you take a stand as the mind, and when do you take the stand as the awareness? Yeah. So till here we are very clear. When I take the stand as the body, I see people, objects, tree, window, table, person, human. I see physical objects. I see that only when I take the stand as the physical body. Yes. Second, when I take the stand as the mind, that time I'm not aware of the physical body. Yeah, there are no pains in the body. Whatever is happening in the body is happening automatically. I've just become a thought myself. And I've taken the stand as the thought, or I've taken the stand as perception. I've taken the stand as a feeling. I've taken the stand as a sensation. That is what the mind is. Mind is nothing else other than this. So when I take that stand, I start seeing the world as images. Very clear? Yeah. I project these images and I perceive these images and I react to them. Third stand, the rightmost column, stand as awareness. When I take the stand as awareness, go back to your book. We've done this already now. Now this is easy for you. When I touch, is the touch anything apart from awareness? Is the sense of touching anything apart from awareness? Is there a toucher? I, the toucher? Check. Is that something that stands apart from awareness? No, there is just awareness. Similarly, moment to moment, in every dealing with everybody at home, at work, with friends, constant recognition. This is just awareness. This is just awareness. There's nothing outside of awareness, nothing outside of consciousness. Yeah? It is an infinite ocean or an infinite sky, an infinite space of consciousness. And the most important point here, how do you know you have moved from the stand of the mind to the stand as awareness? When you're taking the stand as the mind, you're still thinking it is happening inside me. So you have a subtle inside and outside defined when you take the stand as the mind. When you take the stand as the awareness, it is an ocean of infinite awareness. There is no inside, there is no outside. Very clear? All the three stands are crisp and clear. Yeah. So now you can write down the experiments that you have to do for this week. Whenever you do the experiments, again and again, recognize, am I doing this experiment taking a stand as the physical body or as the mind or as the awareness? Yeah. Experimenting with your own self will make it very clear. Oh, right now I was taking the stand as the mind because I had a definition, a subtle definition of inside and outside. And in awareness, there is no inside, there is no outside. It's an infinite space of awareness. Yeah? So experiment number 1 for knowledge of a thing does not prove the thing's existence. Experiment number 1, go for a walk. And on the walk, you will do these experiments. You write knowledge of a thing does not prove the thing's existence, and under that then you don't write the full sentence, then you just do ditto marks and just change the word that I'm going to tell you. Okay? So when you go on your walk, find a quiet place where there's nobody to disturb you. Yeah? Find a tree somewhere, and the first thing you do is touch the tree. Does the knowledge of the touch of this tree prove the tree's existence? Then you take a step back and look at the entire tree. Does the knowledge of the sight of the tree prove the tree's existence? And see whatever sound you can hear in the surrounding. Maybe there is wind rustling through the branches, or there is a bird sitting on that tree, or any other tree. Any sound over there. Does the knowledge of the sound of the bird prove that bird's existence? Does the knowledge of the sight of the bird prove the bird's existence? And if you find some flowers somewhere, take a flower and smell it. Does the knowledge of the fragrance of this flower prove this flower's existence to me? And if you're interested in eating some wild berries, if you find something, does the taste of the wild fruit, the wild berries, does it prove the fruit's existence? Now, in each of these experiments, you have to be very vigilant. Am I seeing them as mind's images? Am I taking the stand as the mind, or am I taking the stand as awareness? Yeah, you'll perceive it differently. If you're taking the stand as the mind, what will be your exclamation? Aha, the eyes are simply seeing my own mind. Therefore, my mind is not just something that is inside this body, but is also outside this body. Yeah. Then you know that you are seeing it as by taking the stand as the mind. Yeah. The ears are simply hearing my own mind. The nose is simply smelling my own mind. Yeah? This is all taking a stand as the mind. The skin is simply sensing my own mind. Suppose when you were touching the bark of the tree. Yeah? When you were smelling the flower, the nose is simply smelling my own mind's image. The tongue is simply tasting my own mind's image. Always remember, when you see it that way, you are making an assumption that mind is not just something inside the body but also outside. There's an inside-outside. Yeah? There is still one more step higher. Yeah? Every time you are projecting, you're taking the stand as the mind. You've forgotten the higher step, that you are awareness. Yeah? Every time you project, you become the mind. And then you perceive your own physical body within the container called mind. Yeah? Body is seen as another perception within the mind. Means what? I am still taking the stand as the mind. Yeah? Then you go for your walk and look at the cars, the trees, the people, the buildings. Does the knowledge of each of these prove their existence? Prove that they actually exist apart from my awareness? Yeah? One thing I want you to note, when you are walking, usually if you have a healthy body and no major pains, and your attention is not so much on your body, it is mostly in the mind. You become the mind. So if you are doing this experiment, you are probably revisiting the examples that Ekta told you. For a moment, you become Ekta in your mind. You tell yourself that now I'm supposed to experiment on the tree. Now I'm supposed to experiment on the building. Do you see that? You take the form of the thought. You become the mind. So recognize this, that the mind appears first. And then suddenly after walking half a mile, your legs start hurting. Then you recognize, oh, there is a body. The perception of the body appears later, always. Yeah? Can you prove this to yourself? Obviously, starting with the assumption you have a healthy body and no pains, and then only you go for a walk. Yeah? Those who have pains can probably just sit and do this experiment instead of going for a walk. Yeah? So do it according to your body type and your body condition. Yeah. So first, there is always the mind. I become the mind. In the mind, I perceive the body suddenly, and then when I'm fine with whatever I've adjusted with the pain while walking or whatever, again, I lose sight of the body. Yeah? So it's always mind first, body second. And third always is mine. M-I-N-E. Mera in Hindi. Yeah? This is the progression every thought will take you into. But you start recognizing on your walk, does this happen to me? Yeah? Another question that you have to ask yourself at this stage in the walk. If this is my own mind that I'm experiencing, the image of the tree, the image of the building, the image of people on the road, the image of cars moving, if all this is nothing but images in my mind, does it mean that I am experiencing the dreamer's mind? And does it mean that I the dream character is the same as the dreamer? This does not need to be believed. This needs to be experimented. And this is very possible to recognize in direct experience. Yeah? Provided you really have the interest in yourself. Yeah? This is the dreamer. The dreamer has conjured up a dream. This dream world obviously consists of the dream subject or the dream character who is experiencing the dream world. Yeah? The dream character has no say in what happens in this dream world. This entire dream world is dictated by the dreamer's mind. Correct? Yes. So, if I, the dream character, yes, I, the dream character, have attended Advaita class and started recognizing everything is nothing but my own mind. There is no other thing besides my own mind. Everything is an image in my mind. I'm taking the stand as the mind right now, remember? So everything is an image in my own mind. Is it that my mind that I'm experiencing, these images that I am experiencing, are they exactly what the dreamer's mind is experiencing? Yeah. This is a question for you to explore during your walk. If you find some level of understanding there, the next question for you is, does it mean that I am the dream character as well as the dreamer? If that question becomes clear, the next level of question is, am I the pure consciousness that is suddenly awake in my own waking dream? Are you clear? So this is your experiment number 1. Yeah. Quick recap. Go for a walk, look at the trees, look at the bird, hear the birds, fruits, flowers, whatever on the way. And if people are there, people, cars are there, road is there, depends, whatever you see. Does the knowledge of that thing prove that thing's existence? And am I seeing it as images? If everything is electromagnetic radiation, obviously my 5 senses do not have the ability to translate electromagnetic radiation properly. There is some flaw in translation. Yeah. So I see everything as images. Yeah, let me go touch it. Yeah, let me go and taste it, or let me go and smell it, experience it. Is it independent of my awareness? Yeah. Is there anything independent of my awareness? And see, am I doing it as with the stand as the mind, or the stand as the awareness? Because if I'm doing it as the stand as the mind, I am actually labeling the mind as awareness. You're getting this, no? So look very closely. And obviously when you to all the five senses, you'll realize that the touch is not different from touching is not different from the toucher is not different from awareness. Yeah, in fact, sensation disappears. For me, sensation was always the easiest that helped me recognize. Yeah, for some people, it's the most difficult to wrap their brains around, but for me, that was the easiest. Yeah, and then the last one step that you can add to this contemplation is that when I take a stand as the mind, or when I take the stand as awareness, look at both, there is no proof of matter there, and I only experience awareness directly. So if you're in the mind, you will say, oh, could it be the mind that I am experiencing when I'm projecting? Yeah. But if you have taken the correct stand, you would recognize, oh, even my projections are nothing else but awareness. How can they be anything other than awareness? If I'm perceiving my own projection, what does that mean? That the mind is not just inside the physical body as I previously imagined, but it is actually all around the physical body. So some people start having this subtle notion that, oh, there is a container, the big container, yeah. The big container is called the mind, and inside that is the perception of this body. Many Advaitins get stuck at this point. They start imagining a bubble of mind inside which is the perception of a physical body. Yeah, and then in their mind they have labeled this bubble called mind, which they're thinking as mind, but labeling it as awareness. Yeah, so be very careful. You always clear your stand. Is my stand as the mind right now? Yeah, and we'll do a few experiments to understand what it means to be the mind. So just to that walk, add one more step, because this looking out at the sky worked for many people in Advaita one experiment. No? So let me add one more thing. Wherever you are in the park, and now just look up at the sky and ask yourself, does knowledge of the sky prove the sky's existence? Yeah? And what do I see beyond the sky? Oh, I see only myself. There is only my awareness beyond the sky, beyond the horizon. Yeah? Everything is my awareness. Then now you come back. It's easier to do it on a walk where there are no personal feelings involved, no people that you know. You're just by yourself. Oh, there's just the awareness. In that awareness is the sky and this world that I can see, the fields, the buildings, the hills, mountains, if you have close by. Yeah. In that awareness is this mind, this body, this world. Everything is I, the awareness. There is nothing outside awareness. The world does not exist. Only awarenesses, only consciousnesses. Yeah. And one final thing you add to your walk. Now you enter your own house. You're coming back home. And whoever opens the door for you, or whoever you see first when you enter your home, look at this person. Yeah? Look closely. Does this man or woman really exist? Isn't this man or woman similar to that tree, to that building, to the strangers on the road, to the cars, whatever? Knowledge of the family member does not prove his or her existence. This will be the hardest part, I think, for you. Yeah? But do it seriously.